And I'd like to introduce you now to Dr. Mike Brogan of Enerit. I asked for a show of hands at the start of this morning, and pretty much all the hands went up when I started speaking about this deadline of the 5th of December. If you operate in the UK, that deadline is known as ESOS, E-S-O-S, and there was a good headline this morning from Owen Hamilton, just an article that popped up on one of the feeds, and time is of the ethos, time is of the essence with regards to this, both here in Ireland, the UK, and all across Europe. That 5th of December deadline applies. So to introduce you to Mike Brogan from Enerit. Long introduction, I think, here, Mike, but I think you can probably do that yourself, so I'll maybe hand over to you there now. You're ready to go. Off you go. Thank you.
Okay, thanks everybody. Thanks Conor for the introduction. Thanks Ronan for the invitation to present today. I've just called my presentation the energy management journey, and this was triggered over the I think just actually the last 2 weeks with 2 different discussions I had with 2 energy managers, and one asked me, we have 50,001, what do we do with it, what's the next steps? The other energy manager actually was thinking about 50,001, but admitted that he had only just read the 50,001 standard only recently. But actually having read it, he said it was quite a good document, not that long, quite easy to read, made a lot of sense, and he's now starting to think about doing it properly. Okay. Also, just to say, I mean, the 50,001 is a good reference point. It's not about going for certification, but it has proven merits. Just a bit about background of our company, Enerit. We've been doing this for a long time. We've been there since IS 393, EN 16001, and now ISO 50001. And pretty much we have a lot of experience in management system software and in energy management software as well. Just to talk about systematic versus business as usual. For a lot of people here, I mean, if you are energy managers, have been looking at energy management, you will have seen the next slide, which is around for a long time. It predates 50,001 and all the standards. It's something that was actually developed. I think this slide came from a project years ago done by Sustainable Energy Ireland, and it's still applicable today for a lot of organisations. The ad hoc approach to energy management, where there's limited control of energy costs and activities. Just to ask, a question of people: are you a project-based or best practiced energy manager? And I suppose this ties in with the ad hoc approach as well, or the systematic approach. Like for a project-based energy manager, you are making savings, but maybe there's limitation on the savings that you're making, and also maybe a limitation on the projects. So maybe a tendency for focus on large projects and leaving maybe even low-hanging fruit and simpler projects behind. Whereas best practice, you're looking at putting in a rigorous approach to energy management, and I'll show you in a minute just some of the results to show that the systematic approach is achieving these savings. So again, this is another slide that this diagram here is what systematic energy management and driving down the costs over time by putting in that rigorous approach. Again, this diagram has been around for a long time and predates even ISO 50001. So I mean, the discussions on this kind of approach have been there, and now the proof is starting to come out in terms of this approach, achieving real savings. Just on the, I suppose on this diagram, we're talking about, where we're starting to see energy costs rising, and then we start to make a commitment. And I think the commitment word here is an important aspect to the whole success of an energy management program. And then as we drive down costs, we're then starting to invest in further savings and keeping our savings over time. And really at the start of the program, you're talking about a lot of low-hanging fruit, and companies are still achieving significant savings through low-cost, no-cost actions. Just, I suppose in the previous slide is also going towards a continual improvement process, and this kind of shows you the I suppose the steps in terms of a continual improvement process, where you have the project focus, and then you have continual improvement, moving towards ISO 50001, and then moving towards things like the Superior Energy Performance Program, where you're actually doing measurement and verification and validating your savings. The Superior Energy Performance Program is a program from the United States, where they've taken ISO 50001 and they've implemented measurement and verification standards on top of that. So they're actually verifying the savings that you've made. 50001 itself is a voluntary standard. You set your own targets and you say how you're achieving them or not achieving them, and how you're going to achieve them in the future. Just the results that's coming from the United States in terms of the Superior Energy Performance Program and the pilot program that they've run over the last number of years. This is where I suppose this is one of the key findings today, that I'd like to present is that this approach is showing to have additional savings above and beyond business as usual, and there is payback. Okay, so you have the systematic approach has got the 13% savings, and you also have, compared to business as usual, which is 3.6% savings. So this is the results, this is real results from the pilot companies that have taken part in this program. And the payback across the companies is 1.7 year average payback. And also other results that are available out there, maybe older type of results and case studies, are coming from other independent bodies such as the British Standards Institute, Deloitte, Certification Europe are here in the room today as well. And they're showing significant savings in different sectors and different ranges of savings as well. Just what I want to do is the title of my presentation was just about the journey, and it's just about energy management maturity. So really it is about a journey. It's not just about getting a certificate, and that's it. The job is done. So if you take ISO 50001 or take the process around that standard, you have the areas like commitment, energy planning, implementation, and you have further activities as well in areas down below here. And then under each area you have the different activities. Okay, so what you're looking at then is some sort of levels. In this model here, we're talking about 5 levels. The model here maybe is something similar to models developed around the quality standards like 9004 or the software standards, CMMI. Also, SEAI have done a lot of work on this in terms of energy management maturity model, the EM3 that John O'Sullivan, who will be here today, has done a lot of work on as well, and has worked on that as part of the large energy network as well. But just to say, that basically, you're starting off at level 1, maybe no clear responsibility, no energy policy yet. You're doing some zero cost actions. Your targets are based on bill reduction. You have no reduction, clear understanding of your SEUs, things like that. So, and then as you move across the levels, you're starting to build up your system. You're starting to get more mature. You're starting to get a bit more sophisticated in what you're doing. So you're starting to look at low cost actions. You're doing training. You've got some global targets. You've some basic metering in. You've got an energy team in place. You've got an energy policy being drafted. And then as you move across, again, you're becoming more and more detailed and more sophisticated. You've now got a policy by senior management. You've got a good team in place. You've got activities based on your energy uses. Actions and priorities are based on payback. And you're starting to invest in energy efficient measures. And then moving on into even more sophisticated areas, such as strategies and goals are coming from the management. There's clear roles in line with the business. You're putting in sub-meters, objectives and targets. So you have all of this. As you move across, then you're also into level 5, you're out into a mature system with policies integrated into management goals, well-defined medium and long-term targets, forecasting, and and linked to your resource planning for the future. And then you've got even things like renewable energy investments. So this is it's just, you know, these are the steps that you'll be looking at and how you can move along. And you can see here I've just tied it to the systematic approach as well, so you can see it's kind of some sort of link there to that. You know, so then at level 3 we're saying maybe this is around that level where you get you know, certification. You look for some external validation and recognition, but all along you're driving savings. You're achieving additional savings all of the time as you go through and continue to develop your energy management system and improve its maturity. So I just brought back up this slide again just to show you the systematic approach to energy management. And from a previous conference from last year, I think it's from last year's conference, I just came across this result, and it's from a pharmaceutical company here in Ireland, and it's a lovely map to that systematic approach where they have driven down their energy costs over time, and it maps very well to that. And also the idea of the maturity. So what's on the bottom here is their activities, some of their activities that they've carried out over that time. So here we have some of the very low cost, simple actions, a top-down approach. Then they're getting into a bottom-up approach. And then as you go across here, I'm not going to go into the detail here, but as you go across here, things like even investing in wind turbines and on all of that, you know, at year 5. Okay, so that was I suppose the second I suppose key finding that I like to show people and say, look, this does work, you know, as you mature your system. Other results in terms of maturity, you know, and these are older results again predating 50,001 and any of the standards. You can see here that you have the best in class are making you know, the savings across the different areas, like across all sustainability areas, and even down at the laggers on the bottom, it's shown that things have increased on them because they don't have control over their costs, whether it's energy or facilities or other resources. And another study as well done by Deloitte again shows this idea of that the more mature the company, the better the average savings that they're achieving over time. So I suppose just moving on to, I mean, what are the barriers, you know, the biggest barriers to implementing an energy management system? And here are some points that I've highlighted. You've no management focus, and I think that is one of the key areas, and I'll mention it again, is that commitment is I suppose the most important and maybe the most difficult to get, but it is the most important to a successful energy management program. Lack of understanding of financial, economic and environmental benefits, lack of skills for energy efficiency measurements and projects. And I suppose in that regard, we're very lucky here in Ireland because we are actually one of the leaders in terms of having skills and expertise and lots of consulting experts in this country that are leading projects here in Ireland and around the world. Poor monitoring systems and data. Focus on initial costs rather than recurring reductions, and that's back again to the ad hoc versus systematic approach. Energy efficiency knowledge resides within individuals rather than the organisation. Okay, so again, putting in a good system, you know, ensures that you're capturing the knowledge and that there's no risks of losing that knowledge. Just talking about why companies get certified. Well, I mean, there's different reasons. It's not just maybe, I mean, energy savings and cost savings are a strong driver, but you also have other, you know, requirements such as required from stakeholders or regulations or clients. So what is going to happen is, you know, the supply chain will start to drive people, you know, putting in strong energy management programs, and that's already happening, such as Walmart, people like that, where they're now looking for their suppliers to have energy management systems in place. And then beneficial beneficial benefits such as return of investment and improvements, obviously, in terms of just cost savings. There are costs associated with certification, and again, these are results that have come from the Superior Energy Performance Program in the United States. And this study, the results I showed you earlier, and these results have come from a study carried out by Berkeley Labs on behalf of the Department of Energy. And a large portion of the costs are to do with staff costs. And I think that is, I suppose, one of the barriers too in terms of implementing it. A lot of you already have many certificates and many audits and that happening, and this maybe is just looking at another on top of that. But there are benefits. So and things like why internal staff is so significant. It is time wasted due to things like the lack of experience. Looking for information, managing spreadsheets, replicating existing information, effective communication, even for multi-sites travel between sites. So these are all the things that can contribute to those costs, and there are ways of making those costs more efficient. Just getting started, 2 big points. Again, I mentioned getting management commitment. The key is to build a business case and market it to the CEO or the managing director, and also to the financial people. Most failures occur from switching priorities. The resources people cannot stay on the project. Get integrated would be a second key point that from our experience. It's link up with teams and systems that you currently have. Link up with the people who look after the environmental quality, health and safety systems. They have the knowledge in terms of implementing those type of systems, and then yes, and then best implementations have combined teams. So basically, using the existing knowledge. You could things like just have a step-by-step approach. You can use I suppose I put up this just in terms of an example of using some sort of a gap analysis tool to help you identify what areas you should do first and then second. So the aim, if you were implementing such as 50,001, is not to maybe take it all in one go, but to prioritize the activities that you're going to implement first. And this diagram here is this idea of having different activities at different levels and managing those activities. And again, if you and from those activities you can then manage the results. So maybe for a multi-site organization, you might have a corporate you might have a corporate standard to achieve. And then for each site, then you can manage and see how they're progressing towards the corporate goals for implementing the management system. And I suppose the key thing here is savings are accrued as each area is improved. The other thing that I mentioned was just integration with other systems. So can you and should you integrate with your technical systems, such as your building management systems, your monitoring, integration with the other standards? Can you integrate with project management tools? Can you integrate your ERP systems? And then this type of integration, I suppose, as you think back about the maturity model, it may be you're in level 3, level 4 when you start doing this really, really well. Okay, ISO 50001 integrates very well with the other standards. It was designed around the Plan, Do, Check, Act, the same as the 14,000 standards. The core activities are the same in terms of in the center here, and then you just have some unique aspects for the 50,001. The organizational benefits of integration. I suppose reduction in administration time, better teamwork, eliminate duplication, ease of finding information, better planning, easier implementation, common methods for processing information and for actions and suggestions. Just a short case study from one of our own customers, Harbeck in the United States. And really this is the journey that they've been on. They have achieved the different standards. And then in 2013 they achieved the 50001 and the Superior Energy Performance certification. But at the same time, they've used it to both achieve energy savings, but also to market their products as carbon neutral. So that's a big plus for them to say that all their products are carbon neutral, and they're a supplier to in the medical device industry as well. And they're currently seeking 13485 as well. Say non-energy related benefits, they've got employee engagement, systematic approach to achieving energy cost savings. They've got tools in place to measure and monitor going forward. Continual energy efficiency improvement leads to more product development, more energy efficiency and equipment performance. And the last point here is one of the key points. It's a low implementation cost with higher return of investment. Like they got 50001 without any costly equipment being put in or any costly projects taken on. So a lot of, and they also achieved a 16% savings from those low cost, no cost activities. So just to I suppose bring it back and just to give you some ideas about if you are only starting out on the road of looking at 50001, how to kickstart your energy management program. And really, I suppose the core of an energy management system is really understanding your energy and the whole energy planning area of the standard. So you're really looking at analysing your energy use and consumption and understanding that really well. So you want to determine your significant energy uses. You want to build something like this, a visual diagram to highlight for yourself where your energy is coming from, and to highlight your large energy uses, and be able to then confidently say it to the team as the management, here's our big energy use, now we need to go and start looking at activities and actions around that. I just put up this one, say monitoring first. There are lots of really good M&T systems, but I think in the past maybe poorly designed, so it's just to get it right first time. I would say don't fear guesstimating initially. Spend wisely even on expensive single items. So again, based on your energy review and knowing where your energy is going, then make decisions on your monitoring spend. And well implemented ENMS will help to align energy use and metering and provide real value in your investment. The second part of the energy review, and I suppose this is the more important part, is identifying your energy improvement opportunities. You want to record them from energy audits, from suggestions, from best practices. You want to prioritize them based on cost savings, payback and complexity, things like that. So, and that second point is a key point that maybe gets lost as well, is to prioritize them, to really do a proper prioritization, not just on payback, but on complexity, maybe on environmental health and safety impacts, maintenance impacts, and have those different key factors being used in your decision-making process. So just to conclude, energy management system, it's different from business as usual, a systematic approach. You will achieve significant energy savings, and the proof is there now to use that to convince your management. Start well, persuade management the material is there, use it. Team up with your environmental health and safety and quality people for the management system, skills and people there. I couldn't resist putting in this picture here. If you can see it, it's a pint of Guinness with the. It's just around teamwork. I just came across it recently. Design better monitoring and targeting after end use estimates. Pinpoint energy uses, changes everything. And build or buy energy management ICT support. That's the plug for us, but also for have a good system in place to manage it. And then conclude, just last slide here. For implementation and continuing success, integrate with your environmental and quality teams, maximize communication accountability, minimize administration costs, visualize your system, have good reporting capabilities to motivate and track, communicate with all key managers and staff, good communication, and that's core as well. Track the way of working as well as the MPIs and actions. Okay, so what I mean is, how effective is your system? It's not just a matter of tracking your energy use. The bottom line, really here is, this is not compliance. It's a common sense way of working, and whether you're going for certification or not, 50001 is a good, strong framework, and it is only it is a journey. Okay, certification is not the end point. Certification is somewhere along that journey. Okay, thank you.